Monarch Medical is proud to pay tribute to the many Wonder Women in East Idaho.
I'm Natalia Hepworth, and this week we're introducing you to Wonder Women living and working in East Idaho. Today, meet Valerie Doggett, who's making a difference by sharing her musical gifts that she's had since childhood.
When I see chords, I don't see if it's an A or a B or a C. Good thing I know my alphabet, huh? I see it as just black dots. I don't know how to count. When my husband tried teaching me, now Val, a quarter note is, and I still can't even tell you what a quarter note is. I know it's quick.
Valerie Doggett has been playing the piano for over 50 years, but she only took lessons for 2.
I took piano lessons in 1st and 2nd grade.
She remembers riding her bike down Utah country lanes to her piano teacher's home.
One day when I was waiting to play the piano, because there was another student there, a little older girl, she was playing this most beautiful song I'd ever heard. And I remember thinking, I want to play that song.
And that's exactly what she did. When it was her turn, Doggett began playing Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata, just like the student before. But her teacher was not impressed.
She says, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm playing a song." And she goes, "Where's the music?" And I said, "Well, there isn't any music. I'm just playing it because it's so pretty." She went and called my mom and said that she would not be able to teach me piano lessons anymore, basically. And so as a child, I thought, what did I do wrong?
But she didn't let the discouragement of her teacher hold her back. Instead, it pushed her forward.
I thought that everybody could hear like I was hearing. Once I hear it, I can do it. You know, it's the hearing. And I think I've always had, that's the gift.
Doggett says she's learned not everyone can play by ear like she can.
It actually became a game for us as kids because we'd always, find a song on the radio or, hear some new music. And so we'd always try to see if we could outsmart mom and get a song that she couldn't play. But she always proved us wrong and was able to play it.
As Matthew Doggett and other siblings have grown up, they've been surrounded by their mother's natural ability for music.
Now that I'm older, I do recognize it as a special gift that she has.
With help, Doggett has written musical pieces for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Now she's in charge of the music at a Brigham Young University, Idaho student stake. She continues to look forward to opportunities her gift will bring.
Some of us, have many and some of us have a few, but I just feel like if we really try and strive really, really hard to find those gifts, I think our lives will be so full of joy.
The more that I practiced it, the more that the passion came for it.
Creativity is her motivation and fondant is her medium. Desi Richards has worked hard for over 2 decades and turned her childhood hobby into a business, Desi's Custom Cakes.
I've always just loved to bake. I love to bake, I love to create and to draw and do different things like that.
Although Richards doesn't limit her creativity, her true passion began with baking.
Since I was young, I would constantly be in the kitchen. And I was a messy baker. I did. I look at my mother now and I just say, I'm so sorry. Because, it is. I started out young.
After high school, Richards looked for educational opportunities to cultivate her passion. She took classes and experimented with tips and tricks from books. Just like baking, Richards started her business from scratch.
At the very beginning, when I started doing cakes, I would just do it for enough money to pay for the product or the supplies that I needed. So then I started building up all of my pans.
Throughout her baking career, Richards has remained debt-free, an aspect she's proud of.
Like a cake, 24 years ago, I charged $50 for one of my first wedding cakes, and or $25. It wasn't very much. And now today, I would probably charge around $250 for that same cake.
Richard's skills have led her to annual awards. She's even had the chance to make a cake for Mitt Romney during his presidential candidacy.
I have to look and say, if I can keep doing my best, then I just keep getting better every day.
Richard remains active in her local position at an assisted living center, and she runs a haunted attraction in Shelley.
Me and my cousin run a spook alley.
She enjoys working with youth volunteers who help build the spook alley each year.
It's our 14th year that we have had an actual haunted attraction in Shelley, and that's exciting. And we have like the theater and the hospital that we do.
Richards also teaches sugar art classes and has inspired many locals, especially the youth, to pursue their passion.
She's always looking for what's the next thing, what's the best thing that I could do here, how could I improve this, how can I learn one more step. But the best part is, she wants to pass it on to other people.
Although she has a zest for baking, her passion for creation has bled into every role she's had in her life.
I can honestly imagine that the earth is kind of like waiting for my feet to touch the ground, and they're going, oh no, she's up. What's going to happen today? And I really feel that way. I feel like the minute I get up, I love to see that sunrise, and then I love to give everything. Being passionate it's just a way of like life, and I love it.
Dr. Ruby Nguyen started her career at the Idaho National Laboratory in June 2015. Now she's a full-time senior systems engineer, but she didn't get to where she is overnight.
When I was working as an engineer after college, at that time I was thinking, oh, I'm done with education. The engineering program is too long, 5 years.
Early in her career, Dr. Ruby Nguyen was content with her position in life and felt her bachelor's degree was all she would ever need.
I was born and raised in Vietnam. I did my undergrad there in environmental engineering.
But thankfully, she didn't stop there, in large part because of her father, who pushed her to become more than she was.
My father, for the most part, yeah, my father always encourages me to further my education.
He pushed her to pursue a master's degree while still in Vietnam and helped her find an avenue to pursue it.
And when he found the Vietnam Education Foundation Fellowship, he kind of pushed me to apply. So I tried, and I won, so that was good.
In 2007, she had a chance to continue her education in the United States.
I got the fellowship to go to Washington State University.
Not only did Nguyen receive her doctorate, she also became engaged to the love of her life.
I met Ruby when she was doing her PhD at Washington State University when I was working in Moscow and Lewiston, Idaho.
But the couple couldn't wed right away. Nguyen had to go back to Vietnam and work in her country for 2 years.
Well, that's good for him to visit Vietnam, though, because, you know, he would never have a chance to visit Vietnam if that didn't happen.
Eventually, the couple did get married and settled down in Idaho.
In 2014, I got married, and I followed my husband. My husband's really supportive. I know it's hard for both people to work because you have to accommodate each other's schedule.
I just do what I can so that she can have a successful career and be a successful mother. We're in it together. We both have full-time jobs.
Even though education has been a priority for the couple, their family is always at the forefront.
Our family's important to both of us, and I don't just help her, she helps me.
Nguyen says each year around Mother's Day, she can't help but think of her daughter.
My daughter is adorable. What else can I say? She was born on Mother's Day of 2016. I'm sorry. So it was the best Mother's Day gift for me.
The scariest experience I have ever had was that prison, riding on that prison transport bus back to Idaho Falls.
With battle scars from childhood abuse, drug use, a gang rape, and human trafficking, Stephanie Taylor-Silva wasn't immune from negative experiences.
I felt like I was the victim. When you're not living a life of recovery, you don't hold yourself accountable.
Working as a full-time employee for the District 7 Idaho Department of Correction, the now 35-year-old sees her experiences as stepping stones to her present-day success.
It wasn't until I got to prison that I learned exactly what accountability meant.
At age 27, Taylor-Silva had already built up a severe criminal drug history. She was under felony supervision after a high-profile drug trafficking case when her life took a dramatic turn for the worse. During her supervision in Idaho Falls, she committed another drug felony in Montana. But unlike other times spent in county jail, Silva was on her way to prison.
Prison was not easy for me at first. When I got there, I had a really difficult time.
To Taylor-Silva's relief, things began to change as prison officers and supervisors took an interest in her personal progress.
It was actually my warden and my corporal and a sergeant there that had stepped in. I had become extremely angry with a female inmate, and they had stepped in and basically given me a talk of encouragement and let me know, they didn't want me to fail.
During that prison stay, she took that encouraging talk and made sure to take every class she could. Before long, Taylor-Silva was out of prison in 2011 and again placed on supervision. She was released early from that supervision in 2014.
When I came home from prison, I was supervised in this office, now where I work, and I just had an amazing officer.
Senior probation and parole officer Sarah Garriott and Amy Cottrell had a significant impact on Taylor-Silva's life.
Hard at first. She definitely tested my patience as appeal. Her case taught me that as I'm not just reacting, I'm trying to be proactive.
Taylor-Silva received a pardon for her crimes committed in 2 states. In Idaho, she received a full pardon in July 2017.
I've been pardoned of every crime that I have committed here. And my pardon in Montana, I just received that in December, just right before Christmas. I have the strength to do great things, and I utilize it now. I give back to the community, and I utilize it to help other people.
Currently, I am getting used to being a single mom and grandma. And I'm not usually emotional, but as I talk about it, sometimes I am. My husband was killed in a car accident 25 weeks ago yesterday, but who's counting?
Ann Bailey, a Pocatello mother of 10, is adjusting to a new way of life after her husband was suddenly killed when his car rolled on black ice near Cokeville, Wyoming.
We had a really good relationship, and the last thing that I remember doing with my husband was giving him a big long kiss on the sidewalk before he left.
After her husband Kirk's death, Bailey quit her job in order to return to being a stay-at-home mom and spend time with her youngest daughter, who's still in high school. As she forges a new path, she reflects on past experiences that have led her to become who she is today.
I am very fortunate in that I have happy genes.
While raising her kids, Bailey was involved with a musically gifted trio, which started in the late 80s and early 90s.
Our program was called Womanhood and Joy to the End. Michelle had the vision, and I just wrote the music, and then we kind of put it together.
Yet there we stood, for he had come just as they said he would.
We spent the next 22 years doing the show 1 weekend a month, about 8 months out of the year.
After moving to Idaho, she became a choir teacher at Franklin Middle School in 2008. She taught there for 8 years.
There's so many fun kids that now sing that would not have sung, but they realized they could do it.
Her former students say she's made a real impact on their lives and that she cares about them on a personal level.
She just lights up a room so quick, and I love it, and I loved going to choir every single day. She's just amazing, and nothing will ever make her ever sad, and even though it makes her sad, she'll never show it. She'll just keep it out the door and doesn't ever want to drag other people down.
Middle school students and parents came together to show love at Bailey's last concert with them. They made her a sign that read Ubuntu, meaning I am me because of you.
We're a family, we're all united, and nobody gets left behind.
Bailey says she's continuing to move forward by participating in community theater and doing the things that she and her husband had planned to do.
I am finding that it's okay, that I am strengthened, partly through faith, partly through the prayers of others, partly through my family, and partly just because I know that I can do this.